What if you don't have to fear another performance review again? Meet our performance management software, the tool that helps you redefine how you approach employee evaluations. What if you could personalize every aspect of the performance management process, gain insight into your entire workforce, and automate the entire performance management process? Plus, gain a centralized view into the entire employee evaluation process. Start performing with Factorial now.
C'è un modo più semplice per gestire i talenti in azienda. Scopri Factorial, richiedi una dimostrazione qui sotto.
Vous aussi, vous devez gérer des centaines et des centaines de documents. Factorial vous permet de centraliser tous vos documents. Les fiches de paie, les contrats, les documents privés, publics et j'en passe. Vous pouvez les signer numériquement en toute sécurité, les partager, gérer les autorisations et bien plus encore. Accédez à tous vos documents facilement et vous oubliez tout ça. Pour en savoir plus, cliquez sur le lien en barre d'infos.
Estoy segura de que cuando decidiste dedicarte a los recursos humanos no imaginabas que tenías que hacer todo esto. Ni esto tampoco. Vale, pues ahora olvídate de hacer todas estas tareas de forma manual y pásate a Factorial. Si quieres saber más, haz clic aquí debajo.
Perdi ancora tempo trascrivendo a mano tutte le note spese dei tuoi dipendenti? Ti mandano le ricevute via mail e ogni volta non sai dove trovarle? Per fortuna esiste Factorial. I tuoi dipendenti caricano lo scontrino con una foto dal cellulare e tu approvi o rifiuti le spese in tempo reale. Clicca qui sotto e richiedi una dimostrazione gratuita.
Wussten Sie, dass es mehr als der Hälfte der deutschen Personalverantwortlichen an Unterstützung am Arbeitsplatz fehlt? Wenn auch Sie mehr Ressourcen in Ihrer Personalabteilung brauchen, ist Factorial das Richtige für Sie. Verwaltung von Arbeitszeiten, Versenden von Lohnabrechnungen, Urlaubsanträge. Investieren Sie Ihre Zeit in das, was wirklich wichtig ist und konzentrieren Sie sich auf Strategie, während wir Ihnen Manuelles abnehmen. Klicken Sie hier und erfahren Sie wie.
This year, many things happened, and we've shown them through campaigns, ads, posts, events, and much more. But we've never told you exactly how we lived it. With our own eyes, with our own lenses, with our own smartphones, actually, thanks to all the people you see here, and here, and here, and also here. We have over 500,000 people using Factorial. That's more than 9,500 clients worldwide. We are the company where people grow. Starting with us, we hired 474 people this year. Speaking of growth, 514 people were promoted. We celebrated it as it had been 1,000. We love seeing people grow so much that we never miss a birthday or an afterwork or any kind of celebration, really. We have integrated new companies like Fuel, expanded our offices in Barcelona, and strengthened our bonds with incredible teams. This just keeps growing, huh? We've had 2.8 million conversations between prospects and clients, learning from them and improving our product every day. We wanted Factorial to adapt to other roles such as IT managers or consultants, because yes, we want Factorial to be for everyone. Well, maybe not for you. We've also created Factorial AI to help our clients grow even more. Now things like hiring talent is much easier. Did I say we like people growth? Right, okay. With products like shift management and expenses, we've saved tons of paper and turned it into data. This year has been more than just numbers and statistics. We've evolved our values, refined our messages, and built a culture based on growth. Because what makes us grow is helping others grow. And what makes us like no other is making small and medium-sized businesses feel bigger every day. Where people grow, where HR grows, where SEOs grow, where CFOs grow, where employees grow, where you grow, where you make us grow.
Hello and welcome. to the third edition of Beyond Fact by Factorial, the event where we're thrilled to announce our greatest product launches up until now, designed to enhance your businesses and empower your team. This year, you will have the unique opportunity to hear from our CEO and experience live demonstrations of our new releases across various areas such as time, talent, and finance, just to name a few. Our mission here at Factorial is to make your life simpler. We understand that your time is valuable and we want you to use it wisely. Some of you already are Factorial customers, but some may want to know how we've come to be and what we have to offer. Please make yourself comfortable. Well, Factorial customers probably already are. So wherever you are around the world, grab your coffee or drink and enjoy the rest of our live streamed event. Cheers!
It's my first day at Rock and Scissors Paper Company. I'm here as their new HR manager. My last jobs had issues, including pay slips. They would take a while to come in, a really long time. They never came in. The company went bankrupt after 2 months.
Oh, so cute. Yeah, but when you were young.
I owe everything to Mrs. Flenderson. She taught me all I know about human resources, like how to fax a performance report. Hello, everybody. So I'm Janice, and I'm going to be your new HR manager. I'm so happy to be here. I have 6-month experience, which in startup time is like 6 to 10 years. So if you have any questions or any concerns, please count on me.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody, to Beyond Facts by Factorial. This is our third edition, Winter Edition 2024. Welcome to all of you. Beyond Facts is an event that we do with our most important people, which are our customers, of course, but also our partners and our team. My name is Jordi Romero. I'm founder and CEO at Factorial. And today, we will have our team come on stage and share some of the exciting new product launches that we will share with you today. But before that, I want to talk about automation and technology, a concept that is a passion of mine. I've been working with technology since I'm a little child, and around work, the main thing that we do with technology is automate things, replace things that we don't want to do as humans so that we can focus on more important things. Now, there is a realization that might sound a bit obvious, but is that technology is here to stay. And it sounds like an obvious statement, but I want to go through it with you in a second. I read this stat recently that said that in 2023, 92% of global leaders are adopting or thinking of adopting cloud technology in their business. And these are fancy global leaders we're talking about. So the shocking stat here is actually that it's 2023, and we are still talking about adopting cloud technology. Like, it sounds way too late for me. Actually, there's an anecdote I wanted to share with you. Some months ago, I went to an event, and the opening keynote of this event was about a person that was talking about the problem with the cloud. And the audience was a bunch of business leaders and technology leaders, and they spent 30 minutes talking about the problem with the cloud. Then I was next with the main keynote, and I had a whole topic that I abandoned. I didn't give my talk. And I improvised another one talking about the problem without the cloud and why business leaders today shouldn't be concerned and fearful, but should be thinking how to adopt this technology fast to gain ability to innovate and grow and develop their people. Right now it's 2024, and AI is here, and it's changing many things in our lives. And we as business leaders have the responsibility to understand and embrace AI as a breakthrough in technology. So let's look briefly at how businesses, organizations are using technologies right now. Particularly, as you know, at Factorial, we work with a lot of HR leaders, finance leaders, IT leaders. So we went and looked at some of the processes that these companies do all the time and how they use technology right now. As an example, the hiring process. When companies need to find the best candidate for a new position, we use emails, I guess. We use calendars, we use WhatsApp, we use the phone. We use some technologies in this process, but you know what we don't use? We don't use automation. And the reality is that we waste up to 100 hours per candidate in administrative processes just to find the right person. So in 2024, and although we have some technologies at work, we're still nowhere near where we should be in terms of automating these processes and devoting the time to the most important things. Another example is a core one, very important topic for everybody, which is how people get paid. When companies need to pay their employees, the reality today is that HR managers, people operations specialists are buried with paperwork, post-it notes, last-minute calls, again, WhatsApp messages, wasting a ton of time, making mistakes, and leading to sometimes employee unhappiness and problems in this organization. Procurement, also a fancy word for buying things. How many of you tried to buy something for your work position, and you found that there was a ton of processes, and then a lot of forms, and then approvals, and then a lot of time wasted, uncertainty, maybe needing to pay it from your own pocket just to find out too late that that expense wasn't approved? Well, the reality is a lot of organizations right now are either spending too much or spending too little. Too little because maybe they're not able to buy the tools they need to grow, or it takes way too much time to buy them, or too much because they're not working with the right vendors, they're not negotiating properly. So there is a lot of energy, time, and money lost today because we're not using technology to automate key processes such as purchasing in an organization. And lastly, the little technology we have right now at work assumes that everybody shows up in an office, assumes that handing papers is okay, and at best that they're working with a computer. But the reality is we're all on our phones 24/7. In our private lives, we're using the smartphone for everything. Yet very, very, very few technology solutions for work are compatible with the phone. And again, it's 2024, and AI is here. So it's time to bring all of this technology to work, meaning make it work and bring it to our workplaces. Technology is amazing because it's not only efficiency, it's not only automation, but it also completely transforms the ways in which we communicate and in the ways in which we work. But there is fear, especially around AI. I think just because people don't understand AI, there is fear about replacement. Will technology replace people? That's a question that I hear all the time, and I read in the news a lot of discussion around this. And I'm an optimist and I'm a technologist, so obviously I believe that technology is here to do good. But let's look briefly back in time. We've been using technology at work for over 50 years, if we only include the modern definition of technology. With the revolution of the PC, personal computers that people were using to enter data, to have systems of record, to be able to make less mistakes and scale. We then connected these computers among each other with networks and then the cloud, so we can share information in real time across the globe. That was a massive transformation that, again, 92% of leaders are today thinking about. Then the smartphone came with the launch of the iPhone. Again, we adopted it immediately, but workplaces are still not fully embracing this technology. And right now, for the last couple of years, we have a whole new revolution. The concept of AI is not new, but the ability to actually use AI for valuable day-to-day things is pretty new. And we see that all of the changes that have been going on for the last few decades, yes, they did replace some jobs, but overall they allowed all of us to be better, to do more value-add things at work. So will automation replace people? Well, I can tell you one thing. Humans with AI will for sure replace humans without AI. So it's your decision if you want to embrace technology or fight it. Actually, if we look at our private lives, this example I love. We used to communicate, well, not we, but humans used to communicate sending letters to each other. And these letters were delivered by the post service, sometimes by horse, by ship. Nowadays, people of all ages use FaceTime, they use WhatsApp, they use emails, they use, obviously, the phone. I'm sure these people of all ages, are even using ChatGPT to write some of the messages that then they're copy-pasting into WhatsApp. So technology is unstoppable. Now, what are we going to do to use it at work? We can use technology as an advantage to grow. We can use technology as the way to innovate, to be able to focus on the thing that matters most for all organizations, which is our people. Lastly, we need to replace fear of displacement, this concept that new things are bad and scary, with the opportunity that it brings. And the opportunity that technology brings to us is the opportunity to empower our people. To tell you more about that, I'm incredibly proud to be able to invite some of my colleagues that will share some product launches today with you, and then a special partner to close. So welcome to Beyond Facts Winter Edition 2024. I hope you like it.
What's up, my giant Janice? Didn't mean to call you big or anything like that. It's just that. Anyways, we have a situation here. We need to fill some job positions, and by some, I mean a lot.
How many positions are we talking about?
So it's sales, accounting, customer service, probably someone to fix that printer with the demonic noise.
Well, I'd better get right at it.
Wait, because first I need to give you access to Factorial or HR Superhero.
What's Factorial?
HR software. So it's basically screens, schedules, can help you with you didn't get the job mails. It's actually more than just HR. It's another one thing.
Software, you said.
Bingo.
You know what? I think Dylan already gave me access to that, so real good.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
I've heard all about these high-tech solutions, and I don't trust them. I've got my own methods, tried and true.
You hang these babies up, people know you're talking business.
None of these fancy algorithms can replace the personal touch of a well-made and informative open for hire letter. I've added all the information there is to know. The first of many. Ma'am, I think you've called the wrong number. I don't know where your cat is. No. Well, in my opinion, it's more important giving people a career than finding your furry baby.
Hello everyone, online and offline. How are you doing today? I am Bárbara Parreira, the product manager of the recruitment tool here in Factorial. And today I'm going to talk to you about a topic that has probably given all of us a headache during our professional journeys: hiring. It matters and it plays a huge part on your company's success. As a product manager, I have hired more than 200 people and interviewed lots of companies trying to understand the ups and downs of the hiring process and the challenges that come with it. I have also hired individuals myself and faced the pains that comes with the hiring process. Overall, what the company faces is the challenges that are more manual tasks. So for instance, in order to do one hire, you have to go through hundreds of CVs, exchange lots of emails with the hiring team and with the candidates. This means just lots of available time that is missed, no? That could have been changed whenever you used automated tools. And every successful team eventually needs to do it, no? So whenever they need to hire someone, they go for the recruiters for help. But the HR team, always with the short end in the budget stick, they need to find more positions with the same amount of recruiters. This means that they are on a mission to boost their productivity. On average, a recruiter takes 34 days to hire one new team member. This means more than 40 hours spent just reviewing CVs and being matchmakers with the hiring teams. And the cost of it is sky high, 4,000 euros per hire. So this means that there's no room for error. And luckily, our recruitment tool will make your process seem like magic. Let's begin a bit on how hiring is today. So, an HR wants to find good candidates as soon as possible. They go and post the jobs in multiple platforms and hope to find 5 good candidates. And they do receive lots of applicants. And they have to go back to these platforms, get the candidates' data, and go back into a big old Excel sheet. Does this seem a little bit too much? Yes. And now, you do have a lot of candidates. How do you decide which ones to move to the next stage? It's not only about checking the CV. It's also about understanding the candidate experience and making sure the candidate also understands how awesome your company is. It's no walk in the park. But here in Factorial, we have the solution. With Factorial, job posting can be as simple as deciding where you want to post your job, and voila. Your job is out there attracting top talent across multiple platforms. And when the candidates do come in, they will be all centralized in one single place. On top of that, you'll be able to send candidates multiple messages with one click. And our message system will enable you to send templates, making sure that you save lots of time. And if you do want to find a message, it's going to be in the right place. This will make your candidate communication efficient and effective. The best part about this is that this is available now. So, today's Valentine's Day, right? Who here uses dating apps or have used dating apps? Don't be shy, I want to raise a friend. I believe there are more people. So, it's really hard finding a match, right? In hiring, it's just the same. How do you find the perfect match? You have to find a candidate that fits in with the right skills and also fits with the company values. It begins with the manual process of reviewing a CVs and trying to find the keywords that might point you to the best candidate. And that's not all. You're not doing it only for one position. You're doing it for 5. So it means that you have to talk to lots of hiring managers, schedule lots of interviews, get feedback from everyone, and make sure that everyone is on the same page. It seems a lot of trouble. But in Factorial, our process will make this seem like magic. With Factorial, our AI system will make finding candidates very simple. We will suggest the best matches for you so that you don't have to review all candidate CVs. And when it's time to do an interview, just choose the people that you want to do, and voila, invite sent. And the interviewers will be also able to set feedback inside the platform and make sure that this is available for everyone to see. This will make sure that your team is aligned and that you find your perfect match. The best news, also, this is available now. So, to sum up, our recruitment tool will automate lots of the manual tasks that you have today. This will make your recruitment better, faster, and smarter. Step into the future with us, where we go beyond talent. Thank you.
Today, my comrades, we embark on an odyssey into the realm of payroll warfare. Overtime. coffee break minus 8 minutes. The untamed beast of the working class. It's time to tame it. With my bare hands if necessary. That was a little bit weird, Ian. Will I be doing this all alone, you may ask? Certainly not. That'd be ludicrous. This is all I really need. He doesn't get tired, he doesn't need coffee breaks, and it certainly does not take vacation days. 22 minutes meeting. It obeys my every command, and it's never failed me.
Please, don't make me more nervous, please. Nervous enough as it is. Okay, hello everyone, here at home, at the office, whenever or wherever you're watching us from. My name is Ricardo Arenas, and the topic that I'm bringing you today is beyond time. But what's beyond time, you might ask? Payroll. You thought we were going to have fun today? We're not. Now, but as a proper introduction, my name is Ricardo Arenas, and I'm the People Operations Manager in Factorial. When I try to explain to someone what I do, or when I explain to someone what People Operations actually do, I normally get reactions along the lines of, all right, you're the HR guy. Well, yeah, technically, but fancier. This is pretty much what I tell my mom, because she used to hate HR. I mean, she still does, but she's retired now, which makes things easier. Despite the fanciness and all, I too get employees accusing me of stealing their tax money, for example, and, you know, usual HR stuff. But HR people ops, today I'm here to talk to you about two things: time and payroll. Look at this employee. Look at that face and try to guess, how many hours have they worked? How much should they be paid for those hours? Should they be paid at all for those hours? This is an easy one. Come on. Yes, no? Yes, exactly, yes. Someone said no. I'm watching you. Yes, and properly, that's the thing. In our report that Factorial published last year, 55% of the HR professionals we interviewed told us that they got into HR, you know, to improve people's lives. I mean, I don't know about myself, my personal case. I'm not quite sure how I got into HR. I do know that my personal reasons were probably not as altruistic, but I do know that I had expectations, these expectations. Reality, however, is more like this. What I ask myself every day is, do I enjoy it? Kinda. Do I regret it? Kinda. But if we do talk about improving people's lives, I think the main thing that we have to consider is to pay them, and to pay them properly, which takes us back to one of the main challenges in HR, which is payroll. Yes, again, yes, it's the same slide, I'm on a low budget. But what does payroll mean? It means paying people correctly, properly, considering lots of different factors. For example, collective labor agreements, different legal frameworks, company policies, and lots of different concepts. For example, overtime, working on holidays, night shifts, overall, lots of different types of hours with different types of values that have to be considered differently. And as a cherry on the top, compensated properly. I used to work at a call center before Factorial. This one, actually. Lovely. And that's me. Sorry. Yeah, that's not Halloween. That was a normal Thursday. Back then, a huge part of my day was time tracking, basically. Like going through, you know, the time track for our employees. We have over 700 employees, lots of them with different shifts, lots of them with irregular shifts, which, as you expect, made the job incredibly, unbelievably fun. I could spend whole days, hours and hours, scrolling through Excels, trying to find out what the absences were, what the overtime was, how to compensate for this time. Nowadays, I have way more tools. And that is a double-edged blade because, I have different expectations, or people have different expectations of my job. I cannot dedicate my whole day scrolling through Excel. People, actually expect me to improve our employees' lives. Yeah, the same employees that are accusing me of stealing their tax money. I'm looking at you, Carmen. Yeah, at you. You think I'm going to improve your life? I'm going to end it. No, that's a joke. This is not recorded, right? No, it is? Please don't sue me. But back on track. Even if I wanted to, how am I supposed to improve my employees' lives? I can even improve my own life. And suddenly I get requests and, questions like, can you give me this business metric? Can you give me KPIs? What is a KPI? I just want to go thrown into a room, work on VLOOKUP on Excel. That will be my life. But despite everything, all of this, the time and payroll team in Factorial are bringing us this new feature, which is time categories for work time compensation. How does it work? What does it offer? I'm going to give you a brief example, a brief explanation of the feature. Basically, you can create a time category. Let's think about night shifts, for example. Once it is created, you can assign it to a certain hours range, or even a day of the week. In the case of night shifts, it will be nights, exactly. Once you have created the night shift, and you have dedicated it to 1 hour range, you can assign it a value. In this case, for example, we can assign it a 1.5 value. So if an employee works 2 hours in a night shift, that will have a value of 3. Easy to understand, easy to apply. What's the true benefit? What does this offer specifically? Well, it gives employees lots of visibility over their work hours, and it allows the company to have a way easier way to communicate the work hours to the bookkeepers. Another thing that it offers, super important, is that you can choose how to compensate for these hours. You can choose to add it into payroll, or you can adjust their time off. So it basically gives companies a lot of flexibility to implement, their company policies and to compensate people correctly and properly. And you might be thinking, okay, this is an elegant solution, a simple solution, apparently, for a really complex problem. Almost too good to be true. Almost too good. Can you imagine that I actually made this all up and that this is not in development and just, created random now? But it is true, luckily, for me specifically. It's coming soon, as soon as in March. That's actually super soon, I didn't realize. But, disclosure, HR, people operations specialists, however you want to call yourselves, this new feature, the rest of the features that we're bringing today, the rest of the features that Factorial offers, has the potential to save you so much time. Too much time, actually, so that you might find yourself missing the good old days of Excel, which is something that happens to me sometimes. So be careful with what you wish. That will be all. Thank you.
Hey, Rachel. Steve asked me if you can handle the food needs for the event.
What?
The food.
Yeah, sure, I'll do it. Thomas, can you write down an order for 500 hot dogs?
Hot dog?
Yeah, for the event.
Wiener?
Yeah, Wiener, or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Dankeschön.
Sure, so 10 chairs. Yeah, that's roughly €100. Handling expenses for the corporate event of the year? Now that's something I'm really good at. The secret is entirely reliant on focus and the delicate dance between budgeting and brilliance. Some people might call it chaos. I call it controlled pandemonium.
Dylan, would you happen to know why we had to rent out 5 winner dogs?
What?
Yeah, I mean, they're cute and all. I just don't see the need for them here. Are we supposed to, like, pet them during the presentations?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Just let me know when the catering arrives, because we need 100 out of the 500 hot dogs to be vegan, please.
Hot dogs.
Hi everyone, I hope everyone is doing well and enjoying the presentation. I'm Clara Arnaud, one of the team lead of the onboarding specialist team here at Factorial. And today, I'll be talking to you about a very specific process and a crucial part of any organization. Procurement. So, what is exactly procurement? Let's see. We know that procurement can sound like an abstract topic, but you can basically think of it as the process of going shopping, not just for oneself, but for many stakeholders in a business. So, in other words, what is procurement? We can define procurement by the process of obtaining goods or services from an external sources. Now, you might be wondering, why is it so important for a company to handle the procurement process? Well, we've spotted 3 main reasons for that. The first one is so that none of the purchase requests that are made by the employees get lost in confusing channels. Also, it is important that we are sure that only authorized people can purchase the right services or goods for the company. Lastly, we need to make sure that each purchase request will be validated by the right person, just as I mentioned, but also comes from validated vendors, so that we avoid compliance issues, but we also make sure we can actually negotiate the prices with them. I'm sure that rings a bell to many of the finance professionals in the room. But to understand it even better, let's take a look at some stats. First of all, procurement software can lead to automate up to 75% of accounting tasks. Also, some studies have found that having a procurement process can lead to reduced costs by 20%. But surprisingly, the last stats says to us that more than 60% of companies or either use tools, very basic tools to handle procurement, such as Microsoft Office, or don't have any procurement tools at all. So now that we have a better idea about what is procurement and why is it important, let's take a look at an example. Meet Paul and Sandra. Paul and Sandra have decided to start a business together. Although the beginnings are tough, they are managing to run everything smoothly. They are handling administrative tasks and also communicating well about them. Also, they are overseeing payments and purchase requests, ensuring that all invoices align with the company's needs. So, everything is fine with just the two of them. But fast forward a few months, and luckily for them, their business is booming. So now, they have all the departments in the company that are increasing, but particularly operations, finance, and purchasing are expanding rapidly. To try to find a solution to this expansion, they've decided to split responsibilities. So now, Paul will be the one focusing on operations and finance. But besides this splitting of responsibilities, they are still facing a few difficulties. And in this case, Paul is still facing a few difficulties to manage it all. What are they? Well, the first one is communication. Why? Because in their company, Paul can receive requests to purchase goods and services from many channels. For example, Slack, but also emails and phone calls, leading to a lot of confusion. Also, Paul doesn't really know which request was approved, by whom, and when, leading to poor visibility and extra budget spending. So, how can they handle all this workload? Well, they have made the decision to hire new people in the team. Meet Veronica. Veronica steps in to bring order to the chaos by dedicating a lot of time and energy to this task. She's basically trying to manage everything. She needs to have visibility about all the requests and remember the stages of each of them. She also needs to know which requests have been accepted and which requests have been rejected. She also needs to understand when purchases are scheduled for so that we can make sure that purchases are done on time. So, you might be wondering, isn't there a more efficient way? Like, really, does Veronica have all the resources to handle this procurement process and to be as efficient as she would like to be? Well, actually, Veronica is here in the room today because she works at Factorial. And for talking with her, her answer was no, she couldn't. Also, there is another problem. What if Veronica is unavailable due to sick leave or holidays, or move to a new position? Then the system becomes vulnerable. But, lucky for you, we're here to show you today how to improve your procurement process, your shopping process for your company. Imagine unifying all employees' communication and on purchase requests in a streamlined, well-organized platform. Well, that's what we've built. A purchase request process designed to simplify and consolidate. That will allow you to have an in-place communication with the whole conversation about anything that an employee wants to purchase for your organization and notifies you about everything you need to be aware of. And the good news, that is available now. So now, let me ask you the following question. How many hands do you think are needed to manage this procurement process? Because right now, we only have Veronica. So, let's take Veronica, for example. Now we've managed to sort out the communication challenges that she was facing. But now she needs to ensure that every request is going to be reviewed by the appropriate person. And that also means involving any relevant stakeholders who needs to oversee and check every step of the process. So let's get to the bottom of this complexity and explore a solution that makes the process of approval easier. How, you might be wondering? Well, based on the company's need, Veronica is thinking about categorizing every purchase order by types. For example, software, hardware, learning budgets, and more. So, only with just two variables, categories and amounts, Veronica will be able to organize approval flows that suits perfectly her needs. So once Veronica have settled all these parameters, every request made from anyone in the company will follow the right approach that she has just designed and set up in Factorial. But what if Veronica needs a different group of approval for a specific group of persons in the companies? For example, let's say directors. What happens if a director wants to purchase something for his company? Does that need to go to the same approval request flow? Well, the answer is no. And how can we resolve that? Well, we've got her covered thanks to customizable approval groups. This allows full flexibility and an additional layer of control over the spending of each company. That means that we'll empower your business with an efficient approval process. And the best news is that will be available very soon, in March. So now that we have managed to help Veronica simplify communications, as well as setting approval flows for each request, what about the time-consuming process of tracking every purchase and make sure that payments are done on time? We know that Veronica is struggling a lot with it. Well, we have built a game-changing solution to enhance your procurement efficiency. We have an innovative solution that will help you to revolutionize the way spending is controlled. Again, how, you might be wondering? Well, with a very simple process that both you and Veronica can follow. First of all, let's go back to the beginning. First step is any employee in your company wants to purchase something. Okay, then let's make a request. Second step, you, as a procurement manager, can create a card to make the payment, allowing convenience and efficiency. Actually, when creating the card, you can also pick who will be the owner of the card, meaning you can delegate this payment to another person so that you can make sure that every payment are done on time. Lastly, you can keep a track of the entire journey of a payment in a clear way, from invoice uploading to payment completion. We know you're eager to try this out, but don't worry, this will also be available soon, in April. So, let's have a look back at our company with Paul, Sandra, and Veronica. Veronica's journey has been actually really well improved. Now, she managed to achieve happiness thanks to having a business process more efficient and smart. Just like Veronica, your company can also experience the same joy. In a nutshell, here is the transformative power of our solution. Unifying fragmented channels for continuous efficiency, meaning we receive all the requests in the same place. That's also a remedy for complexity that once blocked smooth operation. Why? Because now we know who needs to approve what. And lastly, it's streamlining the journey of purchasing orders from request to payment, ensuring that all payments are validated and done on time. So, it's not really anymore about the total volume of requests. It's about the potential for error, delays, and compliance issues that a company may face. We know that a misstep in the procurement process can have a domino effect on the whole company. Now that's a lot on your plates. This is why our procurement software brings order to the chaos. Turn inefficiency into productivity, and uncertainty into persistent confidence. So, revolutionize your procurement process by going beyond with procurement. Thank you.
All right, team. We have an early morning tomorrow, so I expect you all to be high energy. Does anyone have any question? Okay, so let's get moving.
It has come to my attention that the delivery team is operating under no assistance from someone such as myself. And no, it's not about micromanagement. It's about understanding. The delivery team is the lifeblood of our operations. And as the meticulous custodian of human resources, it is my duty to immerse myself in their world. Tracking hours, understanding their challenges, and witnessing their triumphs, it's an anthropological study of the modern workplace. Taxi is Jane Goodall with chimpanzees, only with less fur and more packages. Does anyone know where Ruth and the rest of the delivery team went?
Oh, we thought you were with them.
I lost them.
It says they're in O'Connell Street in Dublin, Ireland.
How do you know that?
The Factorial app. Oh, and it's Tom's birthday. Happy birthday, Tom.
Oh, danke schön. Happy birthday, dear Thomas. Happy birthday.
Hi everyone. I'd like to start with one simple question. Imagine someone working. How do you picture them? How many of you are thinking of a person sitting in front of a desk? Well, surprise. The reality is that 80% of the global workforce is deskless. They work in the field, they work in restaurants, warehouses, retail shops. But this doesn't mean they don't need technology. If anything, they need it even more. But maybe this technology should be held in a more portable device, like the cell phone. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm Raquel Pedregosa. I work here in Factorial as a brand marketing manager. And today, I want to show you how the Factorial app can help you and your businesses. To me, it's one of the key features of the product because, yeah, I normally work in the office, like you. But sometimes I go on trips or events. I know this is me, kind of pretentious. I'm so sorry about that. We didn't have any more footage. And that's when the app comes in real handy. But no spoilers. Let's start from the beginning. First, we had to change our mindset. The app is specifically designed to access information to our employees. And for that, we had to think, what are our problems? What do we need? Well, once we change the focus, we should resolve these kind of questions. And the problems we have is we need help solving inconvenient bureaucracy, also simplifying communications with our managers, and more importantly, managing our time and shifts. And if we got more creative, maybe even signing documents in between commercial meetings or requesting our next holiday while having lunch. Well, now, all of this is possible with the Factorial app. But let me show you how we can help businesses worldwide with one simple example. And the example is this. Does it look familiar? How many of you have seen the bear? I guess some of you. Okay, that's good. Well, for those who haven't seen it, this is the story of a small restaurant in Chicago. They have a successful restaurant, but their day-to-day is problematic, chaotic, and above all, stressful. If you've seen this series, you'll agree with me. It's like really hard to watch, really stressful. I don't really like it, but this is a good example because many businesses face these kind of struggles, face these kind of problems, and this helps us understand how the Factorial app can help SMBs. But first, let's meet the crews, the restaurant's crew. This is Carmi. He's the manager. He's a professional chef, a true genius, but he's not an organized person. And he has to send information to his employees like shifts, or documents. Also, he hates wasting time doing time tracking legal reporting or dealing with time off requests. And this is Sydney. This is his employee. She's the sous chef. She's always on the go, and the only technology she uses at work is the smartphone. She would like for her work information to be well organized and well managed and all in one single place. Also, she'd like to avoid having to remind Carmi, sorry, that was a difficult one, whenever she's taking a time off, which is every single time. Same happens with the latest shift changes or whenever she's going to receive her payroll. And this is the rest of the crew. All of them are overwhelmed with workload and would like to have more automated onboardings because for every new hire, they waste so much time introducing them to all processes. So now we could imagine their week looking something like this. Looks quite busy, but it's manageable. But the reality is it looks something more like this. All the few minutes they have left go to solving chaos, drama, and disorganization. But what if we could help with all the drama? What if, let's say, the restaurant The Bear, subscribed to Factorial? Let's do a little experiment. Let's do a day in the life of the restaurant in the bear, but with the Factorial app. We're going to follow the characters along the way. Let's start in the morning. It's 7 a.m. Sydney, the employee, just woke up, but she can't remember which shift she has this week. Okay, no problem. She can check in the app. She starts at 9 today, so she can go back to sleep if she wants to. Not really. At 8 a.m., while she's commuting to work, Carmi, the manager, sends everyone an announcement through the app. He wants to have a 12 a.m. meeting to discuss new recipes. Okay, good. Sydney sees it and can stop by the supermarket to buy new ingredients. At 9, Sydney's already working because she's a bit of a workaholic. But she forgot to clock in today. Okay, never mind, because the app reminds her and she can clock in immediately. At 10, Sydney receives a phone call. Good news, she just got the flat she applied for. Okay, that's good, but she's gonna need a day or two to sign the papers off. She can request the time off to her manager, Carmi, through the app. In her lunch break, she's scrolling on social media and resting for a bit. And the app reminds her she has a document to sign. And how did she sign it? You guessed it, through the app. Once again, that was easy. Then, let's see it from Carmi's side. Carmi takes a breather at 5 p.m. and checks all the team members' notifications, and sees the time off request that Sydney had sent. And he goes there to the notification, accepts it, and that's it, done. At 5, he's meeting Joe. He's a new joiner, and he can download the app and start the pre-onboarding process a week before he's even started the job. He will be able to review his contract and sign the documents. So now, if we remember that previous slide with the calendar, the messy one, now should be looking a bit more like this. Let's see the magic here. Okay. Because if we sum up all the time they've wasted on paperwork, bureaucracy, and all that stuff, it's again what? No more than 10 minutes tops? And now they can really focus on giving the best experience to the client. So with the Factorial app, now you have time tracking, time off, shifts, expenses, management, and documents in one single place. And the best part is, everything is available now. Good. There's still more, though. We have much more coming. Also, we have trainings. Employees like Sydney, like me, like you, will be able to do work trainings directly from the app. It's easier to access and leads to higher participation and completion rates. And this will be available in March. And last but not least, we'll have a brand new homepage design. The most useful actions will be placed 1 inch away from your fingertips. And this is going to be available in April. So this would be all for now. This is how the Factorial app can boost your everyday experience one step beyond. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to welcome Jordi back to stage.
Thank you, Raquel. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I can't wait to hear your feedback on all the exciting new products that we announced today. There is a lot more work that you don't get to see, but hopefully once a quarter we can meet and share some of the new product announcements. Now, as I said before, Beyond Facts is not just an event for Factorial talking about Factorial. It's actually an event we do to get together with the most important people, our customers, our partners, and our team. Now, today, for the first time, we don't only have partners and customers in the audience. I also have the privilege to invite one of our key partners on stage. We invited Jaime de Mora, CTO for startups and unicorns at Microsoft, to tell you more about what AI is doing to the world of work. Jaime, come on stage.
Thank you so much.
All yours.
Wow, what an audience. First of all, thank you, Jordi, Marcel, and Laura for the invite. I feel very privileged of being here with all of you today. And I feel very energized about all the features that you've showed and actually how you're also helping to shape the future of work. That is something that we've been talking about all this afternoon. Because when we think about it, we've just been through two massive generational shifts in how work gets done. And they were only able to happen because of previous decades of research and development. The first one, when actually COVID made us realize how hybrid and remote technologies really could change the way in which we did work, and also how much science was available to really help us navigate and understand what to and what not to do with these technologies. The second change just happened last year, as AI fully became mainstream and really delivered on the promise of changing the work environment forever. And it just happened in such a fast way. No one could have predicted that this would happen so fast. And just as companies from all over the world turned towards Microsoft to better understand how to navigate the world when COVID hit and how to navigate both remote and hybrid work, they're now turning to us to also better understand, okay, what shall we do with AI? How can we make our workers more productive? And how can we also make work more meaningful? And that's why we created actually the new Future of Work, which is an initiative that creates solutions that try to make work equitable, meaningful, and productive. And that was an initiative that was created during the pandemic in order to better navigate that accelerated trend towards hybrid and remote work. Now we're going through a new change, but actually that's because of technology, not because of external factors. And we need to think about how to better address, again, all the challenges that we're facing. And there's not a better way of doing it than with data. That's why we published a couple months ago what we call the World Trend Index, which is basically a research with thousands of companies that also has been done by dozens of researchers and actually lies as well on behavioral and social science. To better understand, again, how humans work and how are they impacted by all these new changes. And one of the things that I want to talk to you about, and we're going to go for a bit of a story, is actually about the brain. Because at the end of the day, everything we do at work, we're knowledge workers, happens in the brain. So we actually made a lot of research of how is the brain evolving with AI. But before that, we actually tried to really understand how the brain evolved through the last millions of years. And for that, we took a look at what is called the brain-body mass ratio, which basically tries to understand what's the percentage between the brain and the entire mass of different animals. And we saw that the hippo actually had 0.04% of brain, so that means probably it's not the smartest of animals. The elephant had more than 3 times the size of the brain comparatively to their own body. And then we go, most of you already know where we're going. We're going to dogs and cats. Who thinks dogs are smarter than cats? Dogs? Some people. Cats? I hate to say it, but actually cats are smarter. So actually cats are some of the smartest animals out there in the world. But then comes humans, and they have 2.5% of brain-body mass percentage, which is a huge number. But our brains have not historically been as large and as big. They have really evolved in the last years. And one of the main reasons why our brains became so big, there's so many people here, I'm not going to open up the question, but there are many theories about why it evolved so rapidly. But one of the reasons was actually cooking. And let me explain you why. So millions of years ago, humans actually, caveman, cavewoman, they went out to hunt. They hunted, let's say, deer, any type of meat. They actually harvested potatoes, raw food and nuts, and eating that actually took a lot of energy and time. It was very hard for the human body to process. But then, when fire was discovered, it just introduced a new step into the process that made that so easier for the human body. And then all of a sudden, where does all that energy and time go? Mostly the energy. It actually went up to our brains. And that's one of the main reasons that impacted how the brain evolved and why it actually grew so much during the last millions of years. And the key takeaway here is that where we spend our time and energy matters, and it matters hugely. So in the same way that before we had these two processes, and by just adding one single step, we could free up so much time and energy, the same happens with mental processes as well. So what we need to think about is that what the information that we process is extremely important. And we need to be very careful, where do we spend our mental energy? And I want you to think about time and energy as the two most valuable resources your employees and your customers have. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Hopefully most of your employees actually work 40 hours a week, more or less, give and take. And again, also they have a certain amount of energy to give in a day. And that was actually confirmed by the research that we ran in the last World Trend Index. 84% of people agreed that yes, time and energy were crucial for their work. But unfortunately, only 64%, or actually 64% said that they don't have enough of them. And that is an extremely huge number. And that is really impacting the way and the quality in which people do their jobs. But the reality is, as we mentioned before, that the rules are changing, and people don't really know how to adapt to this new paradigm of work. Things are changing faster than ever. And it just keeps changing on a daily basis. So let's try to just simplify how we look at work. And we can do that in a bidimensional matrix formed by space and time. Historically, most of the work was actually done in a specific physical space at a specific time. So work was mostly synchronous. You went to an office, you went to a factory, you performed your work, you left. There was some asynchronous work, yes, you sent a letter and it came back to you 3, 4, 5 days later. But that was not very productive. Came the year 2000, the internet with emails, video conference calls, allowed asynchronous work to catch up with synchronous work. And then COVID hit, and the pandemic showed us that actually remote work was as important as office work, both synchronously and asynchronously. So we're going from just one quadrant to 4 in 30 years. That's a massive shift. But we're not done yet. As we have been talking probably for the last hour, now we have AI. And for the first time ever, AI is actually fully accessible to all information workers. And that's changing, again, the rules of the game. So when we look at this matrix, where do we fit AI? And that's not an easy question, and it's something that at Microsoft we've been thinking about a lot as well, because eventually it's not just another variable, it's something way more. It's actually a dimension, and that's how we like to think about it. It's adding intelligence as an added dimension to work. So again, taking a step back again, we have just in 30 years expanded the way we work tremendously. First, we changed the paradigm of time. In 2000, it allowed us to work at any time we want. Then, 2020, we could work from anywhere we wanted, and now we could work with any information or knowledge that we want, at least most of us. So huge changes that are happening very, very rapidly. And at the end of the day, what this makes is that what used to be simple questions are not straightforward anymore. If you ask, what is my place of work? Different people here might have different answers. For some, it might be their coffee shop down their street, or it could just be their office, or just actually their homes. But the same for time. Your best time might actually be just after your morning run, or it might be late at night after you take your kids to bed? It really depends. And if we think about intelligence and who do you go to get that knowledge, to get help, to get support, historically it's been humans, but not anymore. Of course, there's still going to be humans, but now we can actually go to ask questions, to solve problems, just to different AI tools. So this expansion of work in such a short period of time, again, is creating tons of questions, tons of complexity, and companies are turning to us to really try to figure out how should they actually navigate and really approach all these changes. When should people work from home? What should be the perfect mix between remote work and on-office work? When should actually people meet in person? And again, this multidimensionality is actually not that easy to navigate. And interestingly enough, we're seeing some companies trying to push back and going back to basics. I'm sure that some of your customers are doing that. And they're asking their employees to actually go back to the office. Actually, something that we're seeing even more in Spain. But we really believe that multidimensionality is extremely inclusive. And that's what's allowing companies like Factorial to actually host global events such as this. You might have people in the West Coast that is attending the event live. You might have people that might watch it maybe in 5 hours as well. And also, even you are providing with intelligence to your customers through AI-driven tools. And that's why we believe, again, that the future should be multi-dimensional. So the way we like to think about AI, again, is not just as a tool, but as we mentioned before, as a full new dimension that is going to really enable us to become the best version of ourselves and achieve so much more. But the question is, again, how do we use it wisely? And there's not an easy answer to that. But at Microsoft, we believe that most tasks at work can and probably should be augmented by AI. And that's why we have created an entire family of co-pilots to solve and support employees from all over the world to do things faster and better, whether that's writing an email, an essay, creating a new logo for my company, or whether that's writing code better and faster. And it's not just we or us, the one that know or are aware of the productivity gains from using these type of AI tools, but actually we have run a lot of research, as mentioned before. In this case, what we call the Microsoft Work Trend Index, which has been run with thousands of people and hundreds of companies that have been trying Copilot, and the results have been staggering. And we have been able to come to up to 4 main conclusions. Remember that 64% that we mentioned before about people that don't have enough time and energy? That, as we mentioned before, it's a huge number. And unfortunately, some companies actually claim that it's just that their employees don't have enough talent, or they might not have the right employees. But that doesn't sound right, because people is twice as likely to leave their jobs. Big threat here. And if not, they might not just become the best version of themselves. They might just struggle being creative and productive enough. So definitely there's a huge problem here. And we need to solve for this in some way. The second one is that we have identified many work habits that I would say every company under the sun is facing today. I'm not going to put Jordi on the spot and ask people here how many of you have suffered through these problems, but I'm sure that many of you have, either at Factorial or on previous companies. But when we identified this 64%, they were twice as likely to say that they're struggling through too many meetings. Everyone's suffering that today. Those people as well said that they're 2.5 times more likely to say that they're actually spending a lot of time just trying to navigate and get to the right amount of data. And 2.5 times more likely to say that they don't have enough focus time. So what we did actually was try to label all these 3 problems and label them as villains. The big villains of today. And we actually try to have AI actually visualize them for us through Microsoft Designer. So if on any given day you don't feel productive enough, or you don't feel that your work is meaningful enough, don't be hard on yourself, don't blame yourself. You can actually blame these three villains. The best part is that, as the third conclusion, is that AI is actually showing tremendous progress when it comes to solve these three big issues. And we have actually data that back this up. So the first one is, when we asked, in this case was more than 32,000 employees, what was the main reason why they attended meetings? It was concerning. They said that the main reason why they attended meetings was to receive information they need to do their jobs. So basically, people is jumping into 1-hour meetings to get 1-minute insights. And that doesn't seem like a very equitable use of their time. We should actually maybe rethink how we should how we should approach meetings moving forward. And actually also people mentioned, more than 55%, that most meetings actually end up in a limbo. There are not clear steps, people don't know who's accountable for what, and that makes it actually a big problem. So what we did was we gave, in this case, co-pilots for teams to all these companies in order to better assess and understand what was the impact. And it was encouraging to see that people were actually able to catch up on the meeting content 3.8 times faster. And they did it almost 60% with less energy consumption. So right there, you've got both your time and energy back. Let's go now to the information labyrinth. Again, from this subset of people that don't have energy and time enough, 50% of the information they consume is worthless. So just imagine all the mental processing that goes through on your daily basis just to process information that you're not going to use or it's just not important or relevant to you. That's a lot of, again, time and energy. Or just imagine all these heavy email users that spend almost 1 day a week just going through their email. That's, again, not very productive at all. So when we actually tested how companies were using, in this case, or they were using information search through different co-pilots, we learned that information was retrieved 27% times faster, and that every single task was done or saved at least 10 minutes. So there's another big gain in time and energy there. And then the blank page, and this is our final villain. I'm sure that many of us have faced this moment in which we have paralysis because we need to write an email to our manager or need to write a presentation such as this one, and we don't know where to start, or we don't feel inspired enough. And that's just because nowadays, and someone mentioned that before, our work is constantly interrupted. We don't have any downtime, any time to just fully focus, and that is really impacting us and our productivity. So again, providing the help of AI to these users made huge impact in the way they faced the blank page. People were actually able to write a blog post 65% times faster than before. But one of the interesting parts here is that sometimes it's not just about speed, sometimes it's about quality as well. So we basically had a panel evaluating a set of emails written by humans and by AIs. And on average, AI-written emails were 18% times more clear and 19% times more concise. So quality, again, is also getting impacted by the use of AI. So now we need to think about, okay, if AI is going to allow our customers, our employees to become more efficient, how are we going to use up all this free time? And the way we do this and the decisions we take here are really going to define the future of our workers and of our companies. We can, of course, look at the data and say that at least 22% of the people on the survey had, on average, 30 minutes more a day by using AI tools. That means 10 hours a month. And I can think about so many ways in which you could use 10 hours a month, whether that's a full day on site with your team, you can go running, spend more time with your kids, just do more research or learning. There are so many things that you could do. But the most exciting part is all the things that we don't even know that we're capable of. Because right now we're just scratching the surface of AI, and we know what we are actually able to do as humans. But what about all the different tasks that we're going to be able to do with the help of AI? We don't know. And there's this entire world of endless possibilities. And we believe we're living right now at an extremely exciting time in which we're going to be discovering again so many new things that we as workers can do. So before I end up the session, I want to give you a glimpse of this new world of endless possibilities. At Microsoft, we say that our mission is to empower every person and company in the planet to achieve more. And this is how we do it through AI. Thank you. So, key takeaways of today's session. The first one, as mentioned before, again, please think about AI as a new dimension of work, as a new companion, a partner, something that is going to make your lives easier and better, and is going to, again, get out that best version of yourselves. Second, please keep into account or keep in mind time and energy. There's a big deficiency, and we need to leverage the tools that we have in our hands in order to actually face it. And fourth, again, we need to also think how we're going to reallocate this time and energy that we're going to get back thanks to AI tools. So just to finish, I want to make a call to action, okay, which is lead like a scientist. Right now, we're all navigating uncharted waters, but it's true that science can provide insights into how to better lead and navigate all this change, each and every one of us. So this means, again, developing hypotheses, testing, experimenting, and then also sharing with others so they can build on top of what you've done. I believe this is something that you do very often in Factorial. This is actually what you do in Beyond Facts. So again, just lead with science, because that will really allow you to consider any potential outcomes that you encounter. As new norms are developed, you onboard new tools, and also as you define the future of work. So thank you so much for your time, and also want to say again, feel proud because you work for an amazing company, you have an outstanding leadership team, and you're doing amazing things in the industry. So thank you so much.
I've spent months
perfecting the art of HR without the digital part. But let's face it, things haven't been running as smoothly as I'd like. I've been marching to the beat of my own drum. But maybe it's time to join the symphony. Factorial isn't all that bad. In fact, it's quite revolutionary. It's been, to date, the best resource I've had during my time in human resources. So, here's to embracing change, to evolving with the times, and to making HR great again. The digital way.